context to like the atmosphere.
Yes.
So like a fish in the
Did
water.
you know humans can't even feel...
Hello and welcome to Cracking the Vault, the
I
podcast
was
where we're going
just actually
through
saying-
every Walt Disney Pictures release in order. My name is Xander, and Jake is talking about if fish
humans,
is wet.
No, humans can't feel the thing wet. It's all just a bunch of different like conditions that our brains could say, oh, this is wet.
Yeah, right.
My name's Trevor.
Trevor is water wet, and are fish wet?
Yes.
Water is wet and fish are wet.
Okay, Rachel.
Fish are wet for sure because they're in the water.
Okay, that's fair.
But water itself is specifically wet.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because when you put your hand, when you like this water is, what do you call it then? Like, what is the texture of water?
Liquid.
Well, liquid, but then what is that liquid?
A liquid.
The liquid is wet, Jake.
No, it's... No.
It is wet.
No.
When you wet when you...
I think it is very black and white of the world to say that you can be either only wet or only dry.
You can be both. But water's wet. That's all I'm not saying...
Well, no, it's not even necessarily you can be both as much as it is, like, if it's not wet, it has to be dry, and if it's not dry, then it has to be wet.
But what if it's moist? Is that still technically wet?
Wet because you're inducing liquid.
But
Inducing liquid?
But I feel like Rach is arguing that, like, you know,
no, I'm on the same
moist
side.
and wet, like, but it's
like
it's
water.
a gradient.
It's not. I mean, you can't classify water as like dry or not.
It's a spectrum.
Could you?
Because like
you
the
say-
air
spectrum.
can be wet or dry, but like water, when water's dry, it's not there.
Well, so maybe on the spectrum of like dry and wet, maybe water is like past wetness.
But then you were describing
it's
that
like
water as
super
wet.
wetness.
You just said if
No.
it's not there, it is dry.
If it like, but like in the sense, what would you call dry water, Trevor?
Dry.
There's such a thing as dry ice.
I don't know what point that proves. But
Neither do I.
that is true.
But yeah, it exists.
There is...
I just don't think that
Well,
Dry water.
is that
So we're
important.
talking
Dry
about
ice
1954's.
It's so cold that it dries.
No, we're talking about water right now.
No.
Xander.
Which is again,
Yeah.
then it's now applied on the thing it's touching, becoming dry versus the ice itself.
We're not talking
Like,
about shit.
be
This is
dry.
called cracking water wet water.
I always
Is water
assumed
wet?
it was
Dry is
called
indeed
dry
wet.
ice
Is
because it
dry
has similar
is-
properties to ice, but it's not made out of water. It's made out of liquid nitrogen. I think.
Rob Roy is Scottish as.
Genuinely,
With
how's
the least
what's-
Scottish actors ever.
yeah, genuinely.
Oh, all the
Okay, before we get into
Scottish
that,
people.
Gaelish.
how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling?
Zuna, you start off. How you feeling?
Oh, how am I feeling? Do I sound completely healthy right now?
100%
Great.
best day.
How
Yes,
you doing?
great day.
Yep. Trevor, how you doing?
Valid.
What?
You're
I'm,
doing valid.
I'm doing valid right
Fair,
now.
Rachel.
I'll
how
do
you
your
feeling?
valid.
Well,
Xander, any life things happening recently?
I feel like, oh god.
I have something to say, so that's why I'm asking the question.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you should go ahead.
Well, we're just doing the rotation.
Yeah,
Do you
no,
have
it's
anything?
fine. No, it's fine. Go
Okay.
for it.
I applying to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York
college.
College. So that's happening. Anything live, Trevor? Car things. Do big moments happening in car.
Really,
don't.
the true narrative of this podcast.
We don't.
We like always got a car update.
We don't need more Trevor Carr lore. I think.
Yes, we
I
do.
think we're just.
I don't think we need any more. The
Trevor
Trevor.
like officially has his new car.
Well, no, I officially have Xander's car. It's technically it's mine. It was like technically everything is under my name, so technically it's mine, but it's Xander's car.
You in fact have a car.
I have a car to drive.
That is now yours.
That is technically now mine. Yes.
Great, we did it. We can
That is
now
that
lay
is
to rest
the end of the car loan.
Yeah,
That is it.
for
That's
sure.
No, there's still more car lore. I need technically my own car.
Yeah, we'll
That's like an
have
epilogue
update
later.
for-
Yeah,
like,
well,
yeah, it's like a DLC.
Well,
One
you know?
year later.
we'll have the follow up.
How about you, Rach? Any life shit?
My job is changing its hours, so we're open overnight.
Oh.
Do you have to be
Have you
there
talked
overnight?
about what you do?
If you want to talk about that.
If you want.
I don't think so. I'm a pharmacy technician at a local hospital.
Slay.
Yeah.
I'm smiling. You can't see me.
That's like,
No.
I don't know, the most, like, good job out of all of us. I don't
Good job.
Like,
it's
literally.
most interesting. Yes.
Most interesting
Coffee,
and most
kitchen,
like
kitchen. Wow.
most potential.
most potential. Yeah.
I won't have to be there overnight, but I did open myself up to the opportunity of swing shifts, which would be like 2 to 12 or something.
That's not bad.
Well, like the thing is, this is the movie that made Disney realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't do these like
Thank
costume
God.
movies,
Thank God.
which was a genre that was like dying in Hollywood anyway. I feel. Well, no, that's not true. I think the rest of Hollywood had the production value to back up these kinds of movies, and I might be repeating myself from the last episode, but you know, Disney being a much smaller studio, these, especially these last two, are so fucking boring and plotty as fuck.
I think what is the thing you said? It was like all
Yeah,
plot,
all
no
plot,
story.
no story.
Because like I was like, it keeps introducing things, it keeps going places, and then it just like keeps stacking more. And I'm like, when are we finishing?
It
Any
The
of it.
thought of Disney as a dinky little indie studio is so crazy to me.
it's bizarre, which is why I want to like drive that point home on this podcast, if nothing else, because like Disney was not just always there, you know.
That is odd to they like when I was raised. It was just like Disney was like Disney, man. Like everyone knew what Disney
I
was.
grew up on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so universal.
Well, like the Disney Channel, and at the same time was Radio Disney, of all the pop stars from the Disney
Yeah.
Channel, and like, and so of course you were watching all of the movies and you would be obsessed with the theme parks. It's like, I don't know. Actually, I kind of wanted to talk about that because around this same time, Walt Disney as a person is not focusing on movies.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's been open for 2 years now, right?
He's been, yeah. No. It's going to be open next year.
Oh, I always. I
And
mix
so
Wait,
around,
Disneyland's opening next year? Keep going. It was a stupid bit.
That was a really-
that was a really dumb bit.
Trevor 6 comedy points.
Oh whoa! I even brought back
Holy
an old bit.
shit.
Yeah, I even,
Okay, that's a bit I stole from the podcast. I need to make that super clear because it's probably not the first bit I've stolen from that podcast on this podcast. Just
Is it
that
like
bit.
Jack?
Oh, absolutely.
I know what that is.
All I
No,
know
don't
is
worry about
that that's been a bit going on for like
Ever.
It's a really good
Ever.
bit.
Yeah, no,
I don't know how, but eventually, like at one point,
Well,
I
let me-
just
You're
someone
so
said
stupid
I
and
lost them, and
It's
I
a
was like, when did I
useful
ever
bit.
gain them?
It's a useful bit, which is why.
It is kind of funny.
You're so sweet and predictable.
I know. But around this time, like, speaking of how Disney is a kind of like building its empire at this point and becoming this all-consuming brand, the Disneyland TV show starts at this point.
Like a TV show about Disneyland?
The TV show called Disneyland, where every week was either Fantasyland, Frontierland, Adventureland, or Tomorrowland.
That's really cute.
It was huge at the time. It was like ABC's
I
big
know
show
about
at the
this.
time. Back when there was like 3 channels.
Did you learn this information from a documentary about what Disney Channel fucking song came from? 'Cause that's where I learned
the
that.
Funky Town one. I love that video.
He covers.
Um,
this.
It's a documentary.
I don't
mean to be
think-
disrespectful.
That's
I
where
don't-
that's where I learned this.
I don't think I
information.
learned this specifically from that, but it makes sense that it's in that documentary.
Funkland.
Like,
I mean,
I
it's
feel
like-
like I reabsorbed
It
this
goes to like
information.
all
from
the different
things.
themes from the Disneyland TV show and through like all the very different
Oh,
themes and
I haven't-
logos and stuff.
I haven't watched that documentary since it
Very
came out.
good.
It's
Very good.
maybe his best one. I shouldn't be doing this so early in like this season, but I'm wistfully looking ahead at the next couple movies.
What are they?
20,000 Leagues,
Yay.
and Davy Crockett.
Captain
Back to back. Like, I don't know. So there's this weird era where all of the live action movies are British and, you know, kind of not great. And then he closes this British studio down, and the same year 20,000 Leagues comes out, and that kind of feels like the one where they find their footing as a live action studio. Or as, like, seen in the public as being capable of doing live action instead of just an animation studio that is trying and failing to do live action.
Next episode will give us another chance to talk about the theme parks. 'Cause we need to
Oh!
talk about the ride.
You're so right.
Oh, is
I don't know
Tiana's
much.
opening?
What?
Is that
No,
what we're talking
about
No,
the
no, no,
20,000
20,000
Leagues
Leagues.
with the sea ride.
Yeah.
That used
Oh.
to be where Nemo is. Well, it was Nemo. We'll talk about the next episode.
It went from Nemo to Nemo.
20,000
This is
Nemo
true.
to Nemo.
I
That's a
haven't
good bit.
even been on
That's
that
good.
ride once.
Me
The
neither,
Nemo
because
ride?
I'm scared of
I've
being
been on it
underwater.
so many times.
I feel like...
love that
Okay.
ride.
I think-
Oh my god, we went on the one in Florida, but that was not like a dark ride.
That
and it
one's
ended
more
in
of
the
a like
aquarium.
haunted mansion kind of.
Oh well, like we went on the Nemo ride in
Disney World.
Disney World, but that was like again more of a dark
The
ride.
sea
Like
with Nemo and Fred.
Maybe a
And then on the
contender
other
for
side, they
the
had an
most boring
aquarium.
ride in all of Disney World.
I like the
Yeah.
jellyfish scene.
it's a great place to like. Again, it never has a wait, and it's just like I air conditioning.
Yeah.
but
I don't remember the
And then you see
jellyfish.
some cool fish.
Oh,
but I would rather do that with Figment.
It's just
Then.
like
Yeah.
Is it just kind of a dark room with...
dark room with
We
I
saw
like
the
the
mean,
Nazi
turtle
Bear
where you
sheets
go
after we
through
went
and
on
it's
Figment.
the whatever the air pocket's called that goes from one side to wherever.
That's kind of fun.
What?
We're talking about the ride.
We're done.
Then you are right.
Yeah.
Rob.
Roy.
Is
Scottish. He's Scottish.
He, you know, he is Scottish.
Do we want to talk about what happens in this movie? It's
Yeah, I think we just need to
England
bite the
and
bullet.
Scottish, and they're fighting, and then the Germans are there for a second. That's all I got.
What are you watching at?
Do you want to do them now?
We always do it before.
After the first fight scene, there was painted water, 5 out of 10. There was a waterfall that I didn't even see. Was told it was like a 4 out of 10. There was a few waters that were like part of her either horizon or painted backdrop. And so overall, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10 water.
4 out of 10 water. Valid.
I think that is, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
fitting.
there's not a lot of water in this movie.
There really
so-
isn't.
No.
The Highlands are remarkably without, rivers or...
Very dry.
It's pretty dry.
Very distant waters, but they
Very
didn't like
dry.
really ever encounter water except for the waterfall.
So this movie starts with a battle.
Yeah,
It
between
had-
me and the movie.
This one, it got my attention. I also just want to say the first 2 seconds in the movie, Xander said this is already better than the last one.
Okay, I'm on...
I don't know how we got that from 2 shots of men running through fields, but you know what? Go
It
use
just
that.
looked nice. I don't know, man.
It,
I
It looked like
really...
the past 3. That's
it,
what it
it
looked
looked like the opening shot of a movie.
Yeah, but the last one was entirely in, like, royal halls and courtyards.
This one was
Shit.
like entirely in fields.
It was in fields, but it was 2 armies running at each other. That bodes well, usually.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I don't know, it's just you see it so much, I'm just like, yeah, cool, yeah, it's 2 armies.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're fighting.
Yeah.
What's new?
I do think this was, like... No. I was gonna say this was better than the last one. I think it's
I
honestly on the
disagree.
same level.
I disagree. I would watch the last one over this one.
Fair enough.
I don't have an opinion. I mean,
I like watched the last movie. I didn't
Yeah.
watch this movie.
that's true.
You know, I feel like this one was just so much harder to engage with, and I don't know why. And I feel bad about that.
It feels like whenever
wish I
one
could-
came, there was another one of these kind of ones where we kind of just like,
We just checked
Checked
the fuck
out.
Treasure
out.
Island.
was it Treasure Island?
Honestly, it was...
Treasure
No,
No.
Pirates in Treasure Island.
Treasure Island is a 21-minute episode I had to cut out all of it because we
Pirates.
literally said we didn't want to talk about the movie. We
Pirates.
skipped talking about the movie and went to the fucking
Pirates.
Treasure Island is the other one you're thinking of.
Pirates.
Yes, and that's about all we had to say about it.
That's all I have to say about it.
Pirates.
And
You
that's
thought this was about
all I
pirates.
have
One
to
word more that I have to say about this movie.
Yeah, and the train of thought to get there was really convoluted.
No, this movie is weird. I don't like it.
If you put a gun to my head, we just finished watching this movie like half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. If you put a gun to my head, I could not tell you what it was about.
Yeah.
could tell
I
you it's
have
about
like
Scottish people.
I don't know, a basic.
British.
I was trying to like take notes on this movie, and I was doing like a decent job at it. And around like the 50-minute to an hour mark, I was just like, "Oh my god, it's still going."
The what I
This movie is
presume
83 minutes long, and it felt like an eternity.
the what I presume like third act of the movie, what I presume would be that, felt like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour itself.
The entire. Okay. This movie is about like
Scottish
know,
people.
it is about Scottish people. You know, it's like the Scottish clans resisting like English. Don't you fucking snicker, Jake?
As the Scottish people, your first were the Scottish clan, and I was like, yeah, I was right.
They had
You
a
know.
Scottish one?
Resisting English rule or something. They're I don't know. They're trying to keep some sort of and then Rob Roy is there, and he's the McGregor clan, and he's
Scottish.
and he's Scottish, and he wants he wants peace with the king, and then there's a Scottish guy
Robin Hood.
working for yeah
When are the Germans coming?
what
The Germans were there at some point.
they might have just been
Oh
speaking.
yeah, there were Germans.
Were they German or were they
Yes, they
speaking
were
German? They
German.
could have been German, I'm sure.
What just happened?
What happened after the Germans were there?
The mom got fridge.
So Robin Hood's been in 3 of these movies. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
And it's
no, this man. This man. This man.
Winifred's been in fucking 2 of them. So
Winifred has been. in
I exclusively refer to her in my notes as Winifred.
Winifred. She only. It's like Daniel Craig is only James Bond.
Yeah,
Trevor.
James Bond. Yeah.
No, that's valid.
He's done nothing else. Even though I know he has.
I do that all the time. I'll refer to actors by their famous characters instead of their names because the people I'm talking to might recognize the
I
characters.
do that for
before
everything
the
but
actors.
Glee.
Huh?
Glee, I'm constantly calling them by their
Can I
actor
just say
names.
that plus sign on your shirt is so tiny? I thought it just said Queen Adam Lambert, and I was gonna be like, pop off, I guess.
I mean, true. Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
Man. Speaking of Glee.
Yeah, speaking of Glee. Circle.
Star Kid? Star Kid? Is that what his name is?
Star Child.
Star Child. There we
Star Kid is Darren Chris's theater production studio.
go. I thought his name was Star Kid still.
Is that his studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Him and fucking I can't think of his name. Who played Ron in a Harry Potter musical? He was in Jessie.
Got
a
it.
couple times.
I know who you're talking about.
Did we talk in the last episode about Alfred being in these? Mr. Michael Goff? Sir Michael Goff? Potentially.
Maybe.
I don't know if he's Sir Michael Goff, but
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
call him Sir
Alfred's in
Michael
these.
Goff.
About Michael Caine.
No. First, before Alfred.
Okay, but imagine
Was
if, like,
Alfred
baby
before?
Michael Caine was in this.
That'd be terrifying.
What is his name?
Mr. Rob Royce, I just thought that
How
you
did you do
might
that?
want
What is his name?
Michael Goff Goug.
Don't just do that. Don't just do that.
He is not a knight,
Well,
Damn.
Michael Goff,
but he was
R.I.P.
married 4
You're a knight
times.
in my eyes.
And he has has 4 kids. Oh, and he originated the role as the Celestial Toymaker in Doctor Who.
Oh,
Oh.
damn. Okay.
I know nothing about Doctor Who.
Oh, that's fair.
That character made a reappearance in one of the Christmas specials that just came out.
Played by Neil Patrick Harris. The cast that was generally good in the last movie.
Aren't.
Do you think it's the accents? Do you think the accents are
Were
good?
there?
I was gonna say what accents.
Well,
The old guy from Treasure Island who was the kid's original
he was pretty good.
father/boss
I-
was in this movie. He was funny.
Yeah, I liked him. I think that's it's difficult to talk about this movie because I don't care about anyone as a person in this movie. I don't care about yes, Jake.
You can just talk.
Don't need to raise your hand.
What's the difference between Scottish and Gaelish?
Gaelic.
They were speaking Gaelish.
Gaelic.
No, Gaelish.
It did not say Gaelish.
That's what I read the entire movie.
G-A.
And I said it multiple times in the
L-I-C,
movie.
Gaelic.
Are you asking me to?
You said it multiple times, and I thought it was a joke. I didn't know you just
Nope, that's
genuinely.
what I was reading it as.
Nope, it's Gaelic.
Generally, what's the difference?
Do you want
This
the
sounds
most
like the
basic
setup to a
answer?
Yes.
Or
punchline.
okay,
No.
Scottish is just like the ethnicity, I guess. That might be the wrong word, but like, they are from Scotland as a people. And then Gaelic is the old Celtic language before they were all Christianized.
Got it. What? Christianized.
Christianized. Pardon me.
Christianized.
Cool.
He said what he said. Said what I said.
Bitch, I said what I said.
No.
I'd rather be famous instead.
I like that one. I'll stay.
That one can stay.
Chance to change your face.
Would ya?
Would you?
Chance to change your fate.
Is that the only other time the Scottish appear in Disney?
in fucking Brave.
Or at least, like, main characters?
Scottish people are a fantasy.
I know, I wish they were real.
I saw this TikTok the other day that was like, people always accuse Americans of not being well traveled, but America, like the United States, is fucking the size of half the European Union.
Yeah.
And he was like, from my hometown, I can drive 45 minutes in any direction and be in a different country. In America, you can drive for 10 hours and be in the same state.
Texas.
Here.
Yeah, here. Vegas.
Vegas.
California.
I was gonna say Nevada, but I was like, yeah, no shit, that is here.
Vegas.
SoCal.
SoCal, yeah.
Probably Washington is that far away.
Is Washington? Yeah. Like Idaho?
Probably the tip of Idaho is that far away.
Well, Jacob,
What?
it is.
What's your full name?
Well, Jacob.
Censor that.
No, we can have people
No, we
flagging.
can
I'll give him
I
his
want someone to
address
call
too.
me in public. That'd be scary. I want that.
Okay.
I want that.
So there's Brave. There's a movie called Greyfriars Bobby that's coming up in the next
Ships
decade.
off to Bobby.
All right.
There's a short by Walt Disney Animation called The Ballad of Nessie.
You're really just scooping the bottom of the barrel right now to get these like they're Scottish people. Okay? Like you were
A Scottish person shows up.
you were getting that spoon.
There's a national park in northern Idaho
It's
that is
Scottish.
roughly 12 hours by car from here.
Oh.
I saw the name Ian McNaughton in the credits, and I was like,
Ian McYes and
That was so funny, Jacob. I'm so glad you used your comedic.
Ian McI and
McGuy in.
He's the guy who directed like all of Monty Python's early shit, and he's just like an extra in this movie. Man, there really are just like 50 people in all of England.
I wish Englandadia was real.
Englandadia?
So do I. What is that place, Trevor?
England and Canada. That's it. You asked, I answered, Jake. Where did we leave off?
England and Delia.
Scotland is where we left off.
It's fucking Scotland. I mean, this might be our worst episode.
They love each other. They hate each other. They kiss like always in the other 2 movies they were in.
It's just yeah. I mean, this is like the last 2 where it's just like Richard Todd and Glynis Johns are the breeding pair. I don't know. This feels like. Do you all know the To Kill a Mockingbird story?
Yeah.
Disney.
I've read it.
No.
Oh.
I was like, I know the book. I had to read it in class.
I read the book.
So in I want to say it's 1960 that it comes out. Walt Disney comes out of To Kill a Mockingbird, the movie with Gregory Peck and
I've seen it.
and is like really despondent after it because he's like, that's the kind of movie I wish we could make, and I can't because the Disney brand has been established now. And this almost feels like his last attempt at that, because this and The Sword and the Rose are so... They don't really care about their characters because they are very fixated on, the period detail and, like, including, like, the veneer of as much historical context as possible. Or, obviously, like, reinterpreted for the movie or whatever. But that is the stuff these are interested in. And I don't think we get a lot of Disney movies like that after this. They tend to be more character driven, or they tend to be more comedy driven, or there's like a set piece that it's built around. But these fully die out, and I wonder if Walt was a little sad about that.
I was gonna say, like, how did the community think about these things? These movies.
So like the first, so I want to say like Treasure Island and Robin Hood like made money. Sword in the Rose and this did not, and that's why he stopped making this specific genre. Here, one sec.
Yeah, it's because like Robin Hood was actually good.
It was solid.
Like I like that movie.
It's
I could
still
watch
the best
again.
one out of this little mini arc.
Treasure Island was okay, and then these past 2 again, I've just been like, I mean, at least the last one had interesting like things we could look at, and like, I think I gave it 2 stars because of like what it looked like.
It was shot very well. It was, the actors tended to like carry the scenes they were in. I'm looking up Treasure Island specifically to compare.
Oh, my fucking tooth. My teeth says, don't bite them.
Yeah.
Don't bite these, they hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The mics?
No, the pop filter.
This thing.
Yeah, pop filter.
Is
Yeah,
that what they're called?
like I said,
Yeah, sure.
the first 2 were successful, the second 2 were not. That is kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And the first 2 are the ones that are
Good.
based on literature or based on, the
Something.
most iconic folklore in the English-speaking world, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But these, I don't know. History is not as timeless as he thought. Is there anything we want to say about this movie? I feel like we are so...
I don't.
Scottish,
again, this
Scottish,
movie
Scottish,
is...
Scottish.
We watched it. I don't think I'll ever see myself watching this again.
No, I'm going to forget about this movie after we're done recording.
Valid. I think we can go to scores, which... Wigs? I don't know. There was a lot of wig throwing in this one.
Scottish people.
How many Highlands?
Highlands, yeah. How many Highlands? I'll start, because I never do. 1.
Yeah.
1 Highland.
1 Highland.
Also one Highland.
1.5 Highlands.
Different. Point and
Yeah.
laugh, because he's different.
Genuinely,
Thank you for
I
indulging me.
The first hour, I was like basically with it. You know,
I know the first 2 scenes, you were like, this is better than the other one.
yeah, I know.
Not scenes, the best 2 frames.
Yeah, really ate crow for that one. But I don't know. I basically agree with you guys. This is one of the worst ones we've covered, which is really unfortunate. I was really hoping for better.
It had my attention at first.
Do you know what this might have been missing? This is
What?
a different director from the last 2.
Oh.
I wonder if Ken Anakin was a better director of actors.
I think that's what it is, because this one, like, I mean, what you
don't
were
have
saying.
to wonder. We have proof.
I mean, we do.
You don't have to wonder.
It is
we
confirmed
have proof.
he is.
But like, I think you said it was better shot and everything. I agree with that. Like, this one was better shot, I believe.
In a technical sense, sure.
It was better. It was better framed. Might be my thing.
But
like that's kind of what I was referring to with that first shot. It was an incredibly well composed shot, I thought.
like there was like with the war and everything. Like I liked the shots they did and everything. Like I liked the action scenes where everything was, but it was just so like.
But the scenes of human drama are so lacking.
It was just one of those things where like when 2 of them were talking about their love for each other, it kind of looked like there was just a camera set up, and they said their lines to each other, and I was like, cool, I'm glad you guys did it. And then they walk away and something else happens.
Yeah.
I don't know, just I don't see myself ever watching this movie again. It's a 1 because it's like at least it was like
the only way I would watch this again is if we were doing something. Like this.
Yeah, like hey, recap. We review,
or if for some reason I'm like researching something and I'm doing something.
I want to know what you're researching.
With the Scottish Highlands, and I'm really like, you know what I need to watch? The Disney version of Rob Roy.
Yeah, because it obviously.
In your research for Mary Poppins, you're gonna go back watch these 2 movies again, just so you could watch.
Oh, that's what British people are. Okay.
Oh, these are the only 2 movies with British people in them. Yeah,
understood.
This is where they came from.
Disney invented British.
I wish the British were real.
Disney made that true, Jay. With Disney magic, British people can't exist. I don't know.
Guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
If you're still here, if you're
Why?
still listening, why?
Go home.
Go.
This has been
here?
we've been in the horrible English bogs in this podcast, and we're about to just like we're about to swim our way out.
What's the next one?
20,000 Leagues.
We talked about this, dimwit.
Well, it was a while ago when we talked.
Yeah, like
about
first
this.
off, slow your roll.
Yeah, calm your tits, Jake.
Jesus.
Can't be too vulgar, you know. So I have to like settle with dimwit.
I feel
more
like that's
mean.
worse.
Then
You
like
called him a
dumbass.
Yes.
Yeah, I would rather you call me dumbass than a fucking dimwit.
I don't know. Like, you could say that in a Disney movie.
Rach, I'm sorry. I feel like you haven't gotten to talk a lot this episode. Do you have any like final thoughts?
No.
Great.
What's your opinion on British people?
What?
Rachel?
This just in.
London is so crazy. I wish it wasn't just a Taylor Swift song. No,
Editing, Trevor, do the outro.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This episode was hosted by Xander, Jake, Trevor, and Rachel. Edited by Trevor and mastered by Rachel. We also want to give a huge shout out to our composer and artist who made our theme song and cover photo. Their links are going to be down in the description. Our links are going to be down there too. Lastly, we want to give a huge heartfelt thanks to our patrons.
We don't have any patrons right now, thank you though.
And remember, this podcast would not be possible without all your support. From all of us inside the vault, thanks again for listening, and see you real soon.